So this afternoon, my thought was to do the sutra ritual of Medicine Buddha rather than the self-generation text that Kidrip's translated. Partly because Geshe has we went through the sadhana, touching all the aspects, but not really receiving commentary out on the six deities, the details of how to meditate very nicely in Kriya Tantra. So we will, other leaders, so Paula and then I think Annie in particular, towards the end, we'll have more opportunity to deepen our experience of Geshe's commentary. Today, the sutra ritual is also a practice that's done quite a lot in the FPMT. The eighth day of the month, the eighth day of the lunar month, the eighth day of the moon, is either Tara or Medicine Buddha is thought to be an excellent auspicious day for doing Medicine Buddha practice. So some Dharma centers and some individuals will do Medicine Buddha practice on the eighth day of the moon. And so that can be done every month. We don't follow the day of the month so much as just out of convenience. We usually do our group meditation practices on various Mondays. So we do Medicine Buddha practice once a month, and we do this with Kidrip, who really loves Medicine Buddha. He does the sutra ritual once a month on can't remember which Monday it is. And so I'm going to show a few images and share some information before we get into the sutra, just to give you some additional context. One of the very interesting features of Medicine Buddha practice is the power of the vows of the Medicine Buddhas. So this is emphasized very strongly. I had the very good fortune to achieve to receive the Kriya Tantra Great Empowerment of Medicine Buddha from Jadu Rinpoche a few years ago in New York, in Syracuse, at the Thich Choling Center in Syracuse. And at that time, Jadu Rinpoche, the translator used the word incontrovertible for the vows. And I've seen elsewhere Lama Zopa Rinpoche uses the word irrevocable. So this idea is that the Medicine Buddhas, the seven or eight, if you include Guru Buddha Shakyamuni, as they were practicing the Bodhisattva stages, they made very, very powerful, strong dedications to, through the power of the merit they were collecting on the Bodhisattva stages before becoming enlightenment. They dedicated all their merit to helping sentient beings in degenerate times, such as our times now. But not only with blessings that transform the mind into Dharma, but also blessings that help to overcome obstacles. Blessings that help, as Lama Zopa Rinpoche says, with every kind of worldly success that leads to better conditions for practicing Dharma. So Medicine Buddha practice is thought to be one of the best practices for success in terms of worldly projects, beneficial projects, but not just for transforming the mind, but for also providing the success in temporary worldly matters. So that makes, which includes illness, of course, but it includes a great many other things. In the sutra ritual, this one that we'll be reciting, there is a section in each of the. So I'll just I'll bring it up and I'll show it to you. Yes, this one. Okay, so I'll share just to point out a few highlights before we actually get into the practice, and then we'll do the practice with the right motivation and so forth. But yeah, okay. Are we sharing this now? Yes, okay, I think it's being shared. So this is the sutra ritual that we'll be doing. And some of what Kidrip is translated is drawn from the same source as this translation here. So we'll recognize some of the words very clearly. In this, so the sutra ritual has a section for each of the Medicine Buddhas, and it speaks of very briefly of all the different dedications that the Medicine Buddhas made to benefit sentient beings in so many different ways. So each of the Medicine Buddhas have made very specific prayers. So the first one made 8 prayers. Some of them make 4 prayers, some of them 2 prayers, some of them, I think, 11 or 12 prayers. The final one, Guru Vaidurya, I think he's made the most prayers. It's 11 or 12 different prayers. But for example, 8. And what are the 8? They are listed here. May all sentient beings such as ourselves be freed from so this first one, Guru King, renowned glorious King of excellent signs, be freed from epidemics, execution, criminals, and spirits, have faculties fully complete, have the continuum of suffering and iniquities cut, not fall to the lower realms, and experience the happiness of humans and gods, hunger and thirst and poverty pacified, having wealth, without torments of body such as bindings and beatings, without harm of tigers, lions, and snakes, with conflict pacified, endowed with loving minds and relieved from fear of flood, and as well may we pass to fearless bliss. So that's an example of the 8 prayers made by Guru Renowned Glorious King of Excellent Signs. And so as we go through, there'll be, you'll recognize there's a section where it says, through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing, remembering, prostrating, and offering. Then after that, there'll be a section of all the specific ways in which these Medicine Buddhas will intervene to help us to have success and overcome problems and suffering, temporary as well as ultimate. So that is partly what makes Medicine Buddha practice so effective for us. Notice that here the term, it says expressing, through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche emphasizes not the mantra, but saying the names. Because I think that part of the way in which these Medicine Buddhas made their dedications is even by merely saying my name, may sentient beings be freed from, etc., 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 right? So it is through saying the Medicine Buddha's name that it invokes the power of their irrevocable, incontrovertible vows. So Jadu Rinpoche, when he gave the initiation, he said, we can have 100% confidence. We can be completely certain that the Medicine Buddhas will answer our prayers because the power of the vows, the irrevocable, incontrovertible vows they made. So by saying their names, we can invoke the power of their vows to benefit ourselves and other sentient beings. So that's how, that's kind of what's so distinctive about Medicine Buddha practice and how this works. So yeah. So if you wanted to do a very brief practice of Medicine Buddha as a daily practice, Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommended saying the names, even just once, say each of the Medicine Buddha's names and then mantra. I've even seen one by Lama Zopa Rinpoche, which is just the mantra. But he, I know that he strongly recommends saying the names because that invokes the power of the vows. Just for, do you now see the mandala? I shifted, yeah, okay. So this is the mandala of Medicine Buddha. And there's an appendix in the sutra ritual that goes through how to set up, if you want to do an elaborate sutra ritual, all the different ways of doing the setup. And one of them is to have this mandala of the Medicine Buddhas. And if you had a mandala house, then that'd be awesome. So this would be one of the centerpieces of the offerings that you would be making. And I brought up a photograph here, yeah. So I will share with you a photograph of the setup of all of the offerings. So this is an example of the offerings that is described in the appendix of the Sutra Ritual. This is offerings that we did at the Lama Yeshe Ling Center a few years ago. I don't think we have these set up today. But the idea is that we have a set of offerings for each of the 8. So the 7 medicine Buddhas and Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, there's some people in the waiting room. Let's admit them. Okay. Yeah, so here, and what's distinctive is that there, with medicine Buddha, so in your personal shrine, you may have 7 water bowls for offering water for bathing, for drinking, flowers, incense, lights, food, music, perfume. I'm getting all confused. And then music. Often music doesn't have a water bowl. So you have 7 water bowls for 8 offerings because music doesn't really have a form in a sense, right? With the medicine Buddha offerings, you do make the 8. And so here, and the other interesting thing, as described in the appendix of this, the sutra ritual, is that the placement of the offerings is a little bit different. So usually you would have, you'd have water for drinking, water for offering, you'd have flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, and music arranged from left to right. But with this medicine Buddha, they're arranged from the so the 2 drinking waters are at the back, and then you have a set that are arranged from left to right. So that's what we're seeing here. And for music, the offering you can put is a conch shell. So we had Lorraine Manley, who has since passed away. She did a pilgrimage to India and bought us these tiny little white conch shells that you can see here. So that's our offering of music. The flower colors are white to symbolize purification. So another feature of Medicine Buddha is the Medicine Buddhas, they act to benefit us in so many ways by helping us to purify negative karma. We can also create vast merit by making offerings, but purification is one of the key features of Medicine Buddha practice. So much so that in the tankas that Lama Zopa Rinpoche has commissioned for the 35 confession Buddhas, and in the texts of the 35 confession Buddhas that he's compiled, he includes saying the names and offering prostrations to the 8 medicine Buddhas as well. So purification is really a strong feature, and so that's why here we see the flowers are white in color. Okay. Anything else I wanted to say to start with? I think that's probably most of it. I'll also share at the end a couple of links of commentary from Lama Zopa Rinpoche on the benefits, some stories of miracles that have happened, people who are in desperate need of medicine, where it appeared spontaneously somehow. Due to the power of Medicine Buddha, like a Medicine Buddha statue had the pill right there. So there's this fellow in Taiwan was very, very sick, couldn't get out of bed, and he had an attendant, but the attendant had to go away for a few hours for something, and this fellow was suffering immensely because of pain, and he couldn't get to his medicine because medicine was a cabinet in the bathroom, and it was a horrible situation. And then he turned and he looked, and there was one of his pills. It was in the offering palm of Medicine Buddha statue. He wasn't a Buddhist, but his friend was a Buddhist, so his friend had put a statue there. And then this pill showed up in Medicine Buddha's palm somehow. So that's a story that Lama Zopa Rinpoche likes to tell. Okay, so I think maybe that's most of what I wanted to say to start with. Any questions or comments or other stories?
Me?
Hey, Marta.
I have a story to tell. Well, I work with the people of the street, with the drug addicts, and with the Mother Teresa of Calcutta movement
Okay.
in Costa Rica. But after I went to Mexico and I see all these drunk people dying in the street, and I say, maybe here there's a nunnery. So I went, there was a Mother Teresa. And I say, you know what, in Costa Rica, we work for the people of the street, and you are there, but right now you are not here. People are dying. And they told me, you have to do the mission. And I said, what? I said, okay, what am I gonna do? So I make a mix of the magic, what they show me, the Mother Teresa, and also the Buddhism, and also este, I study drug addiction with a woman. Anyway, so the thing is, to short this, whenever I see a drunk man in the street, I stop, and they are completely, like sleeping, and they are dirty, etc. And I make the medicine Buddha mantra, and I see several things when I do it. But this time, I see this man completely shit and vomit and whatever, and I make the medicine Buddha mantra, and he just jump and stand up in front of me. I was like, what? What I want to say. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Martha.
I
That
have a
reminds me
quick
of a
story.
story. Go ahead, please.
I have a quick story.
Yeah.
When I first got initiated with Medicine Buddha, I had a very sick cat, and I didn't know what was wrong with my cat. And when I came back from the initiation, I my cat, I had her litter box out, and what I found out when she went to the washroom, she had worms, and I,
Oh,
and when I found that out, I was able to treat her for the worms. But worms are very difficult to find in a cat, so it was very, and I actually gave her many years of her life back just because I was able to discover what was wrong with her. So that was something that the gift Medicine Buddha gave me.
great. Yeah, I heard a story also. There's a Dharma Center in Vancouver where they did Medicine Buddha mantra retreat, but they did it so that somebody was doing the practice, saying the mantra 24 hours a day for 7 days in their center. And then afterwards, they opened it to the public and they did a final ceremony. And there were people there with severe addictions. After being in that space where Medicine Buddha had been done 24 hours a day for I think it was a week, the addiction was not a problem anymore, it was gone. So that's yes, various stories about the power of Medicine Buddha. There's another image I will share, just the layout of how to visualize the Medicine Buddhas. PDF. Yeah. So this is how we visualize the Medicine Buddhas. So this one it looks like it's J. Rinpoche Lama Tsongkhapa at the top there, and then Buddha Shakyamuni. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that would be the non-glorious King of Excellent Signs. So we see here, there's Buddha Shakyamuni over on the right-hand side, in Amitabha. So the Medicine Buddhas are one above the other. And so in the Sutra ritual, we start with the one at the top, Buddha non-glorious King of Excellent Signs. And then what happens is he dissolves into the Buddha below him. King Malor Sound, Brilliant Rays, the Skeleton, Jewels, Moon, Lotus. And then we say his names, make requests, and then that Buddha dissolves in the Buddha below him, so they each dissolve into one below them until we get to the final Guru, Medicine Buddha, King of Vaidurya Light at the bottom. And so as we say the names of each one, we can think now we're invoking the power of the vows of all of the ones before that as well. So that when we say the name and ask for the blessings of Guru Medicine Buddha, King of Vaidurya Light, we're actually invoking the power of the vows of all 7 Medicine Buddhas together at once. So that's another aspect that we can think about when we say this, the sutra ritual. Okay, so where is the actual sutra ritual? I think this is the one. Yeah. Okay. Right. So the Kedrib likes to point out that these first 2 verses here are actually the promise to compose, and so they're not meant to be recited, but nevertheless it's interesting to read. The river of merely hearing your names makes even Avicii's hellfire as cool as a lotus pond. Protectors in degenerate times, 7 Sugatas, and head of the Shakyas, to your feet I bow. Distracted by activities of varying importance, to benefit myself and those with faith in the life stories of these 7 Buddhas for degenerate times, I'll condense the Ambrosia Sutra ritual to its molten essence. Yeah. Okay, so then we'll get started. We'll do just a brief meditation on our breath to collect our awareness and to collect our energies. So our breath is not in the past, it's not in the future, it's only in the present. So we can collect our awareness into the present moment, focusing on the breath. And the breath isn't anywhere else, but right here in our bodies. So we can collect our energies into our home, here, our body, with the breath. So now that we've collected ourselves into the present moment and collected our body's energies and awareness, we become a little bit more calm and collected. Change our focus to a visualization of the medicine Buddhas, one above the other. And at the lower, it would be Guru Buddha, King of Vaiduri Light. I wanted to recall something Geshe said in one of the most recent teachings. Steve asked a question about what is meant by bliss, and Geshe answered, one of the meanings is basically a feeling of great relief. We have this burden of a physical body that is continuously having one problem or another. We have to care for it so carefully, and it's full of aches and pains. And so imagining being released from that, what an astonishing relief that would be. But also this mind that is confused. We don't even know the degree of confusion that we suffer from. But if we were to be released from that, it would be an astonishing relief. And so we have refuge. Even mere, you can't really say mere refuge, but refuge. Refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, refuge in the medicine Buddhas. We can cultivate a sense of relief that we can be completely certain and have great confidence that this practice we're doing is a source of relief for ourselves and for countless living beings. So we're doing this for ourselves, for ourselves to achieve Medicine Buddha's qualities and capacities. We're also doing it for all sentient beings. So now we'll start. nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activity of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of 84,000 collections of dharmas, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy root and lineage gurus. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with their host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protectors, Dharma protector guardians endowed with the wisdom eye. Nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activity of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of 84,000 collections of dharmas, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy root and lineage gurus. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with their hosts of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protectors, Dharma protector guardians endowed with the wisdom eye. Nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activity of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy root and lineage gurus. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with their host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protectors, Dharma protector guardians endowed with the wisdom eye. I go for refuge until I am enlightened, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened, into the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. But by merits from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. All sentient beings who, although self and all appearances are Dharma Dhatu by nature, have not realized it thus, I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering. And I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. So as we say this 3 times, we can think, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to be, free of suffering, to have happiness, and so forth. Then the second recitation, we think, I'm going to do this myself through this practice. And then the 3rd time we can think to the Medicine Buddhas, please help me to be able to accomplish this. So 2nd time. All sentient beings who, although self and all appearances are Dharma Dhatu by nature, have not realized it thus, I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering. And I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. All sentient beings who, although self and all appearances are Dharma Dhatu by nature, have not realized it thus, I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering. And I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. For the welfare of all mother sentient beings, I need to attain complete Buddhahood. Therefore, I'm going to engage in the stages of the path, such as prostrating, making offerings, and heartfelt requests, entreating the holy minds to grant blessings. To the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with their hosts of retinue deities. Again, Lama Zopa Rinpoche sometimes is spoken that one of the features of Medicine Buddha is that he has a very extensive retinue. Many bodhisattvas and gods are in the retinue of Medicine Buddha, and so this also makes Medicine Buddha practice very effective. So we will do purifying the place, but I believe there's some in the appendix. There's some additional things that we can do. We won't do the bath offering, but we can do, okay. There is, yeah, right. So we will hop over to here. We'll say the actual, no, actually we'll do the extensive offerings
Dave,
first,
can you
and then
make
we'll
it
say the
bigger?
verse. I
Can you
can.
make it a bit bigger?
Thank you. Yes, I will. Yeah, I guess if you're on a small device, this could be a bit small. So, okay, so I've lost my place when I made it bigger. Yeah, here we go. And somebody else is joining. Okay, so this is following, and we will follow Lama Zopa Rinpoche's advice for doing this sutra ritual to some extent by following what Rinpoche has added in these appendices. If that's a bit too big, we can't see the side of it. Whoa, okay. Let's see. Is that big enough?
That's perfect.
Okay, great. So Rinpoche, when he was alive, he recognized that we're very busy and it's hard to make a lot of offerings. So one of the things he suggested is that we include in the offerings we make the offerings set out in all of the Dharma centers in the world. And some of the FBD centers make astonishingly vast offerings, particularly Losang Drabak Center in Malaysia and Amitabha Buddha Center in Singapore, hundreds of thousands of light offerings, literally. So much so that the neighbors complained, and so they have to turn them off so that everybody can have darkness in order to be able to sleep. But, so at least a few hours a day, or maybe all day and then into the evening, literally hundreds of thousands. They have a competition, right? They compete between each other. So they both got hundreds of thousands of light offerings. Then there's also in Bodh Gaya and also at Tushita. So we can think of various Dharma centers. We can think of other people's homes, wherever the great monasteries. We can think we're including those offerings. Rinpoche is inviting us to think this way so that we can expand the number of our offerings. Also, when we make offerings, we think that they're in the nature of wisdom. So Geshe spoke of this a little bit. One of the features of an offering that's made with wisdom is that it produces inconceivable, uncontaminated bliss in the minds of the recipients, the Medicine Buddhas and their entourage. And part of this means that it never produces a feeling of inadequacy, and it never creates a feeling of too much. It's like, I couldn't, no, too much, I can't, couldn't possibly. It never does that. So it's just completely pure, inconceivable, vast bliss that we're imagining. Okay, so let's proceed. Where is the offering mantra? Maybe that's in the text. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do this once, and then we won't do it over and over again. We'll do it once. But I guess the actual offering mantras are up at the top. 1, 3. There we go. Yes, okay, so that's where we ended. The 8 brothers gone to the blessed Lord Medicine Buddha with red deities. So here we're purifying the place. So as Geshe mentioned, he has a friend who feels that when he does practice, his location actually becomes completely different. And so we can pretend that where we are dissolves, and that all the appearances of inherent existence fall away. And in the space created by that, we recognize this now becomes a holy place, somewhere clean, clear, where we can invite the medicine Buddhas as very special guests. We feel happy to invite the medicine Buddhas to this place where we are, because we imagine how beautiful and pure it is, that has become. Through the power of the supreme truth of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas' blessings, the might of the two collections, and the purity of the Dharmadhatu, may this realm's beings and environment be enriched like Sukhavati with all the desirable perfections of both samsara and nirvana. Jeweled ground, adorned with trees and with ponds, whose bottoms are covered with gold, silver, and pearl dust, flowers strewn and sandalwood fragrance rising, human and divine enjoyments, Samantabhadra's offerings everywhere. There, in the center of a charming jeweled palace, on lotuses and lion thrones, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abide. May everywhere be filled with oceans of clouds of offerings which they enjoy, born through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. So here in particular is the mantra that produces these offerings. So this mantra, for every single offering that you imagine, these 100,000s, they then expand to fill the entire universe with inconceivable bliss through this mantra. And then our concentration is samadhi, born from mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. So our aspiration will be bodhicitta. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramardane Tathagataya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Theata Om Vaje Vaje Mahavaje Mahatenja Vaje Mahavidya Vaje Mahabodhicitta Vaje Mahabodhi Mandobasam Gramana Vaje Savakama Avarana Vishodhana Vaje Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramardane Tathagataya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Theata Om Vaje Vaje Mahavaje Mahatenja Vaje Mahavidya Vaje Mahabodhicitta Vaje Mahabodhi Mandobasam Gramana Vaje Savakama Avarana Vishodhana Vaje Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramardane Tathagataya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Theata Om Vaje Vaje Mahavaje Mahatenja Vaje Mahavidya Vaje Mahabodhicitta Vaje Mahabodhi Mandobasam Gramana Vaje Savakama Avarana Vishodhana Vaje Swaha. By the power of the truth of the three jewels, of the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the power of the great might of the completed two collections, and of the completely pure and inconceivable sphere of reality, may these offerings become just so. And then Lama Zopa Rinpoche said, that's not quite enough. We need to be certain and extensive and explicit. By the power of the truth of the three rare sublime ones, the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the great wealth of the completed two collections, and the sphere phenomena being pure and inconceivable, may these piles of clouds of offerings, arising through transformation by the Bodhisattvas, Arya, Samantabhadra, Manjushri, and so forth, unimaginable and inexhaustible, equaling the sky, arise and in the eyes and presence of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, be received. Okay, so now we will hop over to the extensive offerings, which we will, just to get a taste of it, we'll do it only once, but then we'll think of it each time, because part of this sutra ritual is we do the 7-limb prayer to each of the medicine Buddhas, and so there's offerings made to each of the medicine Buddhas in this way. Okay, so we think that you have received these offerings, the offerings on your shrine that you've made yourself, plus all of the ones in the world here and there, through the kindness of all sentient beings. Because of dependent arising, it's because of the kindness of others that we're able to make offerings. So on their behalf, we make charity of the offerings to all of the hell beings, pretas, animals, humans, asuras, and suras. Think that you and all other beings are going to make offerings to the Buddhas together. Generate great happiness that you are accumulating infinite merit by thinking in this way. Make offerings to all the holy objects, visualizing them as manifestations of your own Guru, who is one with all other virtuous friends. Since the virtuous friend is the most powerful object in the merit field, by offering like this, you accumulate the most extensive merit. In this text, the 5 stages, the Savior Nagarjuna said, abandon making other offerings. Try purely to make offerings only to your Guru. By pleasing your Guru, you will achieve the sublime wisdom of the omniscient mind. And one thing that Paula Chichester said with the Vajrayogini practice session we had a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't heard Rinpoche say this, but she said, Rinpoche says that the most sublime offering we make is, through making these offerings, the bliss and emptiness of our own minds is an offering. So that was interesting, maybe a very tantric perspective. So first we make offerings to all holy objects here in this place. Every single tanka, statue, stupa, scripture, picture, tsatsa, relic, and prayer wheel, by seeing them as inseparable from our own virtuous friend, who is one with all other virtuous friends. So prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. So this is kind of like a mantra. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. And if you allow me to tell a brief story, I've had the fortune to do retreat with Lama Rinpoche on several occasions, and in some of those retreats, on more than one occasion, I would wake up one morning feeling grumpy, the food didn't taste good, everybody was annoying, and when I sat down to do the first session in the morning, it was a disaster, just creating negative karma, a mind completely out of control. And Rinpoche would arrive in the middle of this session, unscheduled, and intervene. And you say, okay, now we're making offerings. So maybe it wasn't just me that was having this kind of problem. I don't know. But we'd then sit down and we'd do this practice, this very practice, but to, whatever deity we were doing in that retreat, for a half hour, saying, prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. The rest of the retreat, smooth like silk, no problems ever again. So this is really a very effective practice that Lama Rinpoche used very effectively. So we make offerings, saying, prostrate, make offerings, generate great bliss in the minds of the Guru, which is the entire field of merit, all the statutes, scriptures, pictures, prayer wheels, and so on and so forth. So then we go on. We make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in this country. All of the statues, stupas, scriptures, pictures, the center's altars, every single altar in people's homes, the prayer wheels, tsatsas, and every virtuous friend in this country, by seeing them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend. We present these offerings many times. The same offerings, we can offer them over and over again. And in this way, we generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Then we make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in India, including the Bodh Gaya Stupa, where 1,000 Buddhas descended. Also, we make offerings to all the holy beings in India, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama and other virtuous friends that you may have there. By seeing them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend, we make the offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. We make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in Tibet, including the Jowo Rinpoche in Lhasa, that was blessed by Guru Shakyamuni Buddha himself, by seeing them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend. We present these offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. So in another place, Lama Zopa said, by making offerings to the medicine Buddhas, we are effectively making offerings to all the Buddhas. So we don't forget about the medicine Buddhas here. Then we make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in Nepal, including the Bodhinath Stupa and the Swayambudhana Stupa and any virtuous friends in Nepal. By seeing them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend, we make the offerings many times, and this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in all the other Buddhist countries such as mainland China, Thailand, Taiwan, Burma, Mongolia, so forth, by seeing all the holy objects as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend. We make offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. We now make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to every single holy object in the rest of the world. By seeing all the holy objects as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend, we make the offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to all the 10 directions of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. By seeing all of them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend. We make the offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. We make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to all the 10 directions, statues, stupas, scriptures. By seeing them as inseparable from his own virtuous friend, we make these offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to Buddha Chenrezig, by seeing Chenrezig as separable from His Holiness the Dalai Lama and one's own virtuous friend. We make the offerings many times, in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. We make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to the 7 medicine Buddhas, which is the same as making offerings to all the Buddhas. By seeing them as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend, we make the offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all the holy minds. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Then, we make all these offerings, both real and visualized, to the Bodhisattva Ksitigarbha. By seeing him as inseparable from one's own virtuous friend, we make the offerings many times, and in this way generate great bliss in all our holy minds. So Ksitigarbha, Rinpoche said, making prayers and offerings to Ksitigarbha accelerates the ripening of the karma so that it ripens very quickly. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. So that's how Lama Zopa Rinpoche leads beings to enlightenment. Okay, there we go. So we've laid down a foundation of inconceivable merit to receive the benefits of doing this practice now. The next section, we do the invocation, and it says with the burning incense. So we can get the idea that by lighting a stick of incense, the smoke rises upwards into the sky. And so this isn't necessary because the Buddhas are here already, but we use various props in order to enhance our confidence. So I've got a little bit of incense here. It's not a stick, but it's powdered incense that I'm offering now. You can see. So we can imagine that on this stream of incense that goes up to the sky, comes down the medicine Buddhas and their entourage, following this stream of incense down from the sky. So that's a little something you can do. So now, invocation. Compassionate protectors in the degenerate times, 7 Sugatas, Buddha Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma, Bodhisattvas, and guardians, invited as the support and protector refuge to protect others and myself, may you come here, gather, and guide your blessings. So we won't do the extensive bath offering here. Root Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakyas, Manjushri, Shantarakshita, and so on, holding in their hands this profound sutra, to the direct and lineage gurus I prostrate. To the compassionate ones who liberate destitute beings, 7 Sugatas, Buddha Shakyamuni, and Holy Dharma, Manjushri, Kabdril, Vajrapani, Brahma, and Ishvara, and the Maharajas and Yakshas I prostrate. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. So pause here, just thinking about what we did before, and we'll just say prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities, rejoice in virtues. Okay, so now we go to the next, we'll do this again only once, but we will follow the full practice of rejoicing here. Only once, but just to get the taste of how Lamas of Brahmacharya would lead beings to enlightenment through rejoicing. You can rotate your meditation on rejoicing through the puja in the following way. At the appropriate time during the first 7th verse, rejoice in the goodness of yourself. To be reborn as a human being with an interest in Dharma, we must have done some very special things in the past. The next time the 7 limb prayers are recited, pause and focus your rejoicing on the goodness of others. The next time, rejoice in the goodness of all gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. Then start again with yourself, etc. For the final 7 limb verse, rejoice in the goodness of all. So first, rejoice in all the good things you yourself have done in the past. Think of what you must have done in the past lives to result in this precious human life today. Practicing generosity, morality, patience, and making stainless pure prayers. Every good thing you experience now is a result of past positive actions you have done. As you are reflecting on the good things you must have done in the past, rejoice by reciting to yourself like a mantra, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is, amazing. Then, rejoice in all the good things, sincere prayers, practices, helping others, following your teacher's advice, etc., that you are doing in this present life, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. Then rejoice in all the virtuous activities you will do in the future, all the realizations in the path you will develop, and all the ways you will help others, teach the Dharma, and so on, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. Now think of all the wonderful things others have done, all the virtuous qualities, and the ways people have helped one another in the past, are helping each other now, and will do so in the future. Especially all of your companions in the spiritual life, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. Think also of particular qualities that others have, such as generosity, intelligence, beauty, fame, wealth, devotion, so on. Thinking, how wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Think about the life stories of the various saints of all the different religious traditions and how they benefited others through devoting their lives to spiritual practice and service. Rejoice in their qualities and deeds, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. A brief aside, Lama Yeshe visited Assisi, where the crypt of St. Francis was, and they were astonished by what they felt there. And from then on, Rinpoche kept, he remembered St. Francis, had St. Francis on his own personal shrine, made offerings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Continue by thinking specifically of all the incredible things that have been done in the past, are being done now, and will be done in the future by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, including your own teachers and the lineage lamas. Remember their qualities, their life stories, the hardships they bore to generate realizations in their minds and preserve the Dharma, and how they have helped countless living beings, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. All. Now allow your mind to be completely aware of and rejoice in all the wonderful things, that yourself, others, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have done, are doing, and will do from now until all beings reach enlightenment. Feel expansive and happy for yourself and others, thinking, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. So that was our meditation on rejoicing in the first of the many 7 limb prayers that are part of the sutra ritual. So we will just, from now on, we'll just pause and say, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is, thinking of all of that. Requesting the Buddhas to teach, beseeching the stay, all of the gurus to stay, so that we never be separated in this and future lives, all future lives, from the Buddha Dharma and from perfect pure teachers. And dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Great Bhagavan Assembly, pray listen. 7 Sugatas, just as you promised, your previous prayers will be fulfilled. During the final period of Shakyamuni's teachings, pray, show me in actuality it is true. So here we are invoking the power of the irrevocable, incontrovertible vows of the medicine Buddhas. We do so by reciting their names. So we do each medicine Buddha's name 7 times. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please, may the prayers you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. So this is a special request Lama Zopa Rinpoche has added to this practice. Golden in color, with mudra granting refuge, who accomplished 8 prayers, majestic with the glory of 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field unconquered by others. Brief aside here, each of the medicine Buddhas has their own Pure Land. So this medicine Buddha's Pure Land is called unconquered by others. So we also make a prayer at the end of each of these 7 limbs to be reborn in each of these 7 Pure Lands. To renowned glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate. In flowers of the major marks flourishing and pure, anthers of minor signs, such as the beautiful body, one who sees, hears, or thinks of you is glorified. To renowned glorious King of excellent signs, I prostrate. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. So again, the 7 limb prayer here. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. To the force of hearing the Conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering and prostrating and offering. So here are the specific prayers of glorious King, renowned glorious King of excellent signs. May all sentient beings such as ourselves be freed from epidemics, execution, criminals, and spirits, have faculties fully complete, have the continuum of suffering and negativities cut, not fall to lower realms, and experience the happiness of humans and gods. With hunger, thirst, and poverty pacified, may there be wealth, without torments of bodies such as bindings and beatings, without harm of tigers, lions, and snakes, with conflict pacified, endowed with loving minds, and relieved from fear of flood as well, may we pass to fearless bliss. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, which was the one mentioned just above, with qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as renowned glorious King of excellent signs, and cause them to delight. So now we visualize that renowned glorious King of excellent signs melts and dissolves into the Buddha below him. So now this, saying this Buddha's name invokes the power of 2 medicine Buddhas, irrevocable and incontrovertible vows. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Yellow in color, with mudra of granting the Supreme, who accomplished 8 prayers, majestic with the glory of the 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field endowed with jewels, I prostrate to King in melodious sound. Well adorned with jeweled moon and lotus, wisdom expanding and mastery of all knowable objects, endowed with a mind as deep as the ocean, I prostrate at the feet of King of melodious sound. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. I rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. For the force of hearing the Conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings, such as ourselves, may the distracted flourish in the Dharma, have wealth and goods of humans and gods, without torment at conception, be always born human, never be separated from bodhicitta, increase in virtuous Dharma, purify obscurations, and attain the happiness of humans and gods. May we be freed from being separated from the spiritual guide, from dark ages, spirit harm, death, and enemies, and from the dangers of isolated places. May we have enthusiasm for making offerings and performing ritual services. May lesser beings have samadhi, mindfulness, strength, the dharani of non-forgetfulness, and attain supreme wisdom. May tormenting fires be cooled. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as King of Melodious Sound, and cause them to delight. And so now, King of Melodious Sound, brilliant rate of skill, adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, dissolves into the Buddha below him. So now we're invoking the power of the incontrovertible, irrevocable vows of 3 medicine Buddhas. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, the fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, a great jewel who accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel who accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel who accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color, like the river Tsambu, with Dharma teaching mudra, having accomplished 4 prayers, majestic with the glory of 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field, incense filled, I prostrate to stainless excellent gold. Paramount among gold like the river Tsambu, blazing with more radiance than 1,000 suns, body like a stainless golden stupa, I prostrate to stainless, excellent gold. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request, I beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the Conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the short-lived have gain longevity, the poor full wealth. May combatants come to have loving minds. May we not be without training and fall to lower realms, but be bound by our vows, and never without bodhicitta. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, incense field, qualities complete. Become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as stainless excellent gold, and cause them to delight. So now Buddha stainless excellent gold is always the Buddha below him, and now by saying the name of Supreme Glory free from sorrow, invoking the incontrovertible, irrevocable vows of 4 medicine Buddhas. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned glorious King, Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Light red in color, with mudra of meditative equipoise, who accomplished 4 prayers, majestic with the glory of 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field without sorrow, I prostrate to supreme glory, free from sorrow. Passed beyond sorrow, attained to supreme bliss, pacifier sentient beings 3 poisons and sufferings, protector of beings of the 6 realms, to the glorified one, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues, thinking how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the Conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may sorrow and the like always be pacified, and life be long and happy. May the conqueror's light increase bliss and joy in the hells. May we have brightness, beauty, and wealth, unharmed by spirits. May we have love for each other, and may there be no disease. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from lotus in that Buddha field, qualities complete. Become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as supreme glory, free from sorrow, and cause them to delight. So now Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, dissolves into the Buddha below him. And so now we can think as we say the next one, we're invoking the incontrovertible, irrevocable vows of 4 medicine Buddhas. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Pink in color, with mudra of teaching the Dharma, who accomplished 4 prayers, majestic with the glory of 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field victory banner of Dharma, I prostrate to melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma. Great sound of Dharma, conquering adversaries, endowed with speech as deep as the ocean, pacifier of beings' sufferings without exception, I prostrate to melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. I rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. To the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all beings such as ourselves, may we always have perfect view and faith, hear the sound of Dharma, and be enriched with bodhicitta. For the sake of resources, may we give up negativities, may wealth increase, may we abide in love, have long lives, and be content. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma, and cause them to delight. So now Buddha, melodious king of melodious ocean proclaimed Dharma, dissolves in the Buddha below him. So now as we say this Buddha's name, we are invoking the irrevocable, incontrovertible vows of 5 medicine Buddhas. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful king of clear knowing, supreme wisdom and ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom and ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. So this was actually the power of 6 medicine Buddhas. I've lost count there. Coral-colored, with mudra granting the supreme, who accomplished 4 prayers, majestic with the glory of 2 accumulations. Glorious one of the Buddha-filled ocean of jewels, I prostrate to King of clear knowing. Mind of profound Dharma wisdom, difficult to fathom, sporting in the pure sphere of truth, one who sees all knowable objects directly, I prostrate to King of clear knowing. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the Conqueror's name, expressing, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the distracted be free of malice and rich in goods. May those on evil paths to lower realms attain the 10 virtues. May those controlled by others gain perfect independence. And all have long life, hear the names, and be virtuous. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as King of clear knowing, and cause them to delight. So now we're the final medicine Buddha. So now Buddha King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom, ocean of Dharma dissolves into the Buddha below him, Guru medicine Buddha, King of Vaidurya light. So since this one was translated, Lama Yeshe has changed the translation from lapis, and then for a while it was sapphire, and now it's just Vaidurya, because Vaidurya is what's actually in Tibetan. It's a mythical gem that has special qualities that you won't find in a normal gemstone. It's kind of soft or spongy. And so when the ground is made of lapis, as when we make offering prayers, to smooth the palm, like the nature of lapis, smooth the child's soft hand, it's like the ground floats with energy. So this is Vaidurya light. So this is a very special mythical gem. So say Vaidurya here instead of lapis. So now this Buddha brings together the incontrovertible, inconceivable vows of all of the 7 medicine Buddhas as we say the name of this medicine Buddha. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine Guru, King of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, king of Vaidurya light, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all of my pure prayers succeed immediately. Blue in color, with mudra of granting the Supreme, who accomplished 12 prayers, majestic in the glory of 2 accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha-filled Vaidurya light, I prostrate to Medicine Guru, king of doctors. Bhagavan with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, Vaidurya light. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, offer, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. So here are all the qualities of this last medicine Buddha. Through the force of all of his vows, through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, may each and every sentient being such as ourselves all become like you, graced with marks and signs. May the light of dispelling darkness, the enjoyment of wisdom and skillful means be inexhaustible. May those attracted to mistaken and lesser paths enter Mahayana paths, and all be beautified by their vows. May we be free from pain caused by immorality, be complete in faculties and without disease, and have abundant goods. May those disillusioned with the weakest conditions always have powerful faculties, and may we be freed from Mara's noose and perverse viewpoints. May those tormented by kings gain bliss, and those who, out of hunger, support themselves through negativity be satisfied with food received in accordance with the Dharma. May hardships of heat and cold be pacified, and all good wishes be fulfilled. Endowed with morality that pleases the Aryas, may we be liberated. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as Medicine Guru, king of doctors, and cause them to delight. So now, there's still a couple more 7 limb prayers. This one is to the teacher of the Medicine Buddha sadhana, the ritual in the sutras, Buddha Shakyamuni. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color with earth-pressing mudra, who through the force of unique great compassion and enthusiasm became the glorious one of this, the fearless world system, I prostrate to the Supreme Leader, head of the Shakyas. Born in the Shakya lineage out of skillful means and compassion, unchallenged by others, conqueror of Mara's forces, body majestic as a golden Mount Meru, I prostrate to the King of the Shakyas. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. I rejoice in virtues. I request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Pray bless us that all beings who lack a protector, to receive here immediately without exception the benefits as taught by the Supreme Teacher in the extensive Sutra ritual of Medicine Buddha. I think this may be the last of the 7 limb prayers here now, through the Holy Dharma. Supreme lamp dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicines, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Supreme lamp dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicines, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Supreme lamp dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicines, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Homage to the Mother of the Victorious Ones, perfection of wisdom, and holy Dharma of the 3 vehicles, who totally destroys the dark seed of suffering's cause and uproots the pain of suffering completely, and make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. Prostrate, make offerings, generate infinite great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. Rejoice in virtues, thinking how amazing all of the merit that it takes to bring every single sentient being to full awakening. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the blessings of the truth of the Holy Dharma Jewel, may I and all others, henceforth in all our lives, practice the Buddha's teachings in their entirety, exactly as the Buddhas intended. The conqueror's heart commitments were invoked by 36,000 sons of Sugatas, including Manjushri, Kabdrol, and Vajrapani, thus requested they proclaim this sutra's benefits. Pray manifest all of them for me here and now, and to the worldly protector Yaksha leaders as well, as you promised to do before previous teachers, to stop enemies, harmers, and epidemics. pacify conflict, and increase physical and mental bliss, increase wealth, power, property, crops, and lifespan, accomplish these desired goals as we wish, and always protect us without break. So now we have the chance to do a little bit of mantra recitation. So we'll do the long mantra of Medicine Buddha here 7 times, and then we'll do we've already taken quite a bit of time here. We're over 90 minutes, so we'll just do 21 of the short one. We'll do the Sanskrit version. Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Bishaje Guru Vaidurya Prabharadaya Tadagataya Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Theada Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha. And then we'll do 21 silently. Om Theata Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Rajasamugate Swaha. Theata Om Bishaje Bishaje Maha Bishaje Bishaje Raja Samugate Swaha. Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakyas, Manjushri, Shantarakshita, and so on, holding in their hands this profound sutra, to the direct and lineage gurus I prostrate. To the compassionate ones who liberate destitute beings, the 7 Sugatas, Buddha Shakyamuni, and the Holy Dharma, to Manjushri, Kabdrul, Vajrapani, Brahma, and Ishwara, and the Maharajas and Yakshas I prostrate. I make every collection of offerings actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. Prostrate, offer, generate great bliss. I confess all downfalls and negativities. I rejoice in virtues. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. How wonderful it is. Then request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Whatever I have done or caused to be done that was unprepared or degenerated, or done with my deluded mind, please be patient with all of these. Whatever the beings of this degenerate age have done, of lesser merit mixed with the ignorant delusions, that did not fulfill the Arya's wishes, please be patient with these as well. Under the influence of miserliness, lacking in skill, having made bad offerings or faulty arrangements, O Protector, endowed with great compassion, please be patient with these as well. Whatever was superfluous or left undone, degeneration in parts of the ritual, or whatever was forgotten, please be patient with these as well. So if we have an image of Medicine Buddha, we can imagine that our visualization of Medicine Buddha now enters into and abides in this image that we have. Otherwise, when we recite this mantra, the Medicine Buddha returns to Pure Land. By remaining here together with this image, for the sake of all migrators, please may you grant us long life without illness, power and supreme attainment. Om Supratishta Vajra Yisvaha. The hosts of Medicine Buddha deities, pervading all directions of the round of space with perfection, some raining down multicolored lotuses, some singing songs requesting goodness, some acting to conquer maras and obstructors, and all bestowing on you supreme good fortune. Know this full well, and be very joyful, and I shall voice sweet melody expressing auspiciousness. Supreme Teacher of humans and gods, touching my crown to your feet of jeweled moonlight, grants the glory of good fortune of Kamuda flowers blossoming. To Manindra, moon of expounders, I prostrate. To Manjushri, great abbot Shantarakshita, Tritsang Ditsen, Atisha, father and sons, second conqueror Losang Drapa, and so on, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of the supreme root and lineage gurus, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon, may it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Accomplishing a supreme ocean of prayers invoking truth, during the teaching's decline for protectorless beings who were untamed by other sunlight conquerors, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of those 7 Sugatas, protectors during degenerate times, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon, may it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Arising well from the broad lotus-like tongue of the Lord of the Able Ones, especially exalted even in the later days of the Shakya's teachings, such that, if performed, one gains the essence of immortality's ambrosia, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of that king of the vast and profound Sutra Pitaka, may all negativities and degenerations be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon, may it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of those children of the lineage performing the sutra ritual by simply reciting the names of the King of Doctors of all realms, 10 directions, and through the especially extensive prayers of the Teacher Buddha and the Sugatas, may all negativities and degenerations be ended, and all bliss and goodness increase like the waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Accomplished through the compassion mantra of the Sugatas, through faith, samadhi, and words of truth, construction of jewels, abode of the 3 jewels beyond the 3 realms, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of that supreme Buddha field equal to Sukhavati, may all the negativities and degenerations be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon, may it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel, bodhicitta, that is not arisen, arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra II realize things as they are, I too dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow the perfect example. So this is dedicating into emptiness. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with dedication praised as the best, by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so I might perform good works. So here we can bring the mind, the King of Prayers. So we're dedicating just as the King of Prayers. And then Lama Zopa Rinpoche's special dedications. Due to the merits accumulated over the 3 times by myself and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which are empty from their own side, may the I, who is empty from its own side, achieve the state of enlightenment which is empty from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are empty from their own side to that state as quickly as possible by myself alone. Because of all the merits of the 3 times created by me, by all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and other sentient beings, may there be no wars, famines, disease, quarreling, fighting, or unhappy minds. May there be great prosperity, and may everything needed be easily obtained. May all the human beings in the world be guided by spiritual leaders teaching only Dharma, and may everyone enjoy the happiness of Dharma. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Please give me a moment and I will bring up Lama Zopa Rinpoche's long life prayer. I didn't have that prepared, pardon me. It won't take very long. Shouldn't take very long. Where are we? Gosh. There we go. Okay, there we go. So Lingam Rinpoche requested that we think that as we make this request for the quick return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, that all the conditions fall into place spontaneously for Rinpoche to manifest as before, or even more vastly capable than in his previous incarnation. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratika Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, all along with all the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable, venerable Guru, to your make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the 3 jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta, the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. So that's it. Yep, almost 2 hours. But you get a taste of what Lama Zopa Rinpoche would have done with the appendix and all of the extensiveness. So I think that's good to do.
Thank you, Dave,
Thank
for your
you.
heartfelt
So
leading us through this wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. That was wonderful.
Hey, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so great dedications. See you tomorrow, maybe. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.